So we'll
as long as
discuss
you're
the
not
rules.
like making a claim for me, because then I'll be a liar if I contradict you.
Hey,
Okay.
welcome back for the fancy ramen omake. That's the sound of me pouring Coca-Cola into some Kraken rum. That's the kind of atmosphere we need for the omake.
I actually really like that fizzy sound in the mic. Like that sounds really good. I didn't.
Oh, God,
I didn't
rum.
think to prepare myself a drink, so I'm just gonna sit here
And drink water.
and feel good. Yeah, and drink water.
I did not pour another water upstairs and then grab a beer.
Can you really call Mike's hard white peach lemonade a beer?
It's in a beer bottle, so yes.
Okay, by that nature, then
Isn't
every
it a-
time you get an old-fashioned quote-unquote soda that's made with real soda, real sugar, that's a beer. So, like, I could pull kids over from
No,
for
it's gotta
playing
have
Jones.
alcohol in it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. No matter how little there is, there has
No
to
ma-
be some.
And if it's in a beer bottle, it's a beer. If it's not, it's probably a liquor of some sort.
Yeah. So another week, another episode.
Another day, another dollar.
Great being with you
We're
guys.
making money now? What?
Oh no!
Well, I mean, at your
dollars,
regular job,
dollars
you're
spent
Yeah.
keeping the podcast afloat.
I do want to bring up. It was kind of sad to go to your going away party yesterday, Scott.
Yeah,
Was
mean-
it sad? I enjoyed myself.
it's
You know, the listeners don't necessarily know one way or the other, so we can play it off any way we want.
it's true.
Wait, the listeners don't know that Scott's leaving? I think we've made that apparently
They
clear.
don't.
They don't know
weren't
how
there.
the party was. Yeah.
Oh,
They weren't invited, which isn't it rude to talk about parties people weren't invited to?
But that's why they're here.
That's true. Yeah, this is the after party.
The after podcast party where we talk about a bunch of anime that probably isn't specific to the topic of that week, or talk
We talk about
games.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's unregulated.
This is either the section that people love or hate.
Yep.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Cookie.
I'm Scott.
Yeah, I'm Neil.
Omake!
Yeah, bonus episode.
What?
First one. Normally our episodes just have bonus littered in between.
That's the perfect way to put it.
I know. Littered is a very key word there.
So, right at the start of this recording, you guys were talking about The Long Dark.
Yeah. I think it's
Wait,
gonna
were you recording?
A little bit, not
Okay.
not enough for anyone to get any answers quite yet. So,
Oh, okay. You sneaky recording jerk.
I know,
Again.
right?
I never know what's real anymore.
you were saying that there's some sort of cutoff in The Long Dark.
I'm starting to find that maybe another reason that first off, it would get annoying to get an achievement, like every 10 days you survive after a while. So I think that's part of the reason why after 50 days, they jump to 100. But there are a couple other achievements that are also based off of a 50-day window or period that are more specific to like never killed an animal with the rifle within 50 days. And so it's like the Silent Hunter achievement, which, by the way, getting achievements in that game feels really good for whatever reason.
Because you're actually surviving and achieving.
They're big deal. Like most of them are a big deal. Some of them I think you could game if you wanted to do it earlier. Like I think you could go to the easiest mode and then there are some things you could do to like technically get these achievements accomplished as soon as possible.
Like what?
You could achieve certain things with no regard to your health if you were just making a
It would have
playthrough
nothing to do
about
with with natural gameplay. Like there's one called the Natural Healer, which I got. And with that, you have to heal every ailment using a natural resource as opposed to homeopathic medicine,
as opposed
which
to like coming across
painkillers
some-
or antibiotics. You use a mushroom that you brewed into reishi tea.
Oh
and
God,
then-
kids don't do this at home.
Yeah, don't make mushroom tea.
Are you sure? I don't know. I hang out with one of my coworkers. She's just like, "Oh, we're going mushroom hunting this weekend."
Oh.
I'm like, "Okay."
But those
That's
people,
a different type of mushroom.
yeah, and those people also have a
knowledge of what the mushroom is that they
Exactly.
can.
They're also white. White people love mushrooms. I don't know why that is. They
I-
love their mushroom hunting in the forests of
Scott.
Oregon.
I hope you know that you too are also white.
Oh no.
You're not supposed to tell him.
So you don't like mushrooms?
Actually, so I'm a very adventurous person in a lot of ways. Like, I always strive to take risks and try new things and do different things.
So like
And
that
there's-
time that you went and crash landed in the
In the
Pacific-
Canadian
in the-
wilderness.
in
Yeah,
the Canadian wilderness.
exactly. I'm always down for that. Everybody needs to,
Crash
cross off like doing a real life Hatchet scenario. Did you guys read that book, by the way? Hatchet ever? Like when you were younger?
No.
Can't say I did.
I realized that The Long Dark is just Hatchet. Like
What is Hatchet?
Hatchet is a book that I read when I was in middle school, or maybe it might have even been late elementary, because I was reading like all over the place at that point in time. And
Scott was
it's
like,
about a
age
kid-
range, fuck that shit.
No, seriously, age range is total bullshit. My mom got me The Hobbit when I was like in 4th grade. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna tear into this shit. This looks good.
I think that's about the time I read it too.
And then she made me read Lord of the Rings because the movies were coming out. And I was like, this is such garbage. Like, I hate this so much. But the
No
movies
son
are
of
good and it's
mine.
worth it.
No Son of Mine is going to be a movie non-book reading schnob.
Exactly. I had to read the book if I ever wanted to see the movie as a kid.
Wait, does that
Damn.
mean you had to read the Aragon
Harry-
books?
Oh, I didn't watch that movie. I read the books, but I did not watch that movie.
God, that movie sucked.
I could tell as a kid. I looked at that and I was like, they did something wrong here.
Okame. Omake.
Omake. Yeah. That's the beauty of the bonus, is we can go crazy like this. Back to Hatchet, which some mortals can't follow. No multiple topic lines. But back to Hatchet. It's about a boy who's like flying in an airplane over the wilderness with maybe somebody else, and his pilot has a heart attack and dies. He's left out in the wilderness, and he essentially has to like survive on his own for subsistence until he's able to, I think, ultimately like float down a river and get home, or like flag.
Float down a river alive. That's the important part.
Yeah,
He could just jump.
gets his body home. No,
As long as someone
but
finds me and gets me home, it's okay.
it's a really good book. If you're like, for a young reader, if you're interested in like survival against, the wilderness, which is animals and nature. And so I realized The Long Dark is just like, it's everybody's, it's a continuation of those like awesome feelings that people had reading books like Hatchet. Like, I can do it. I want to be a survivalist.
So, speaking of you being a survivalist, how long have you lasted?
How long have I lasted?
That is the question.
Guesses, gentlemen. Where
All right.
where you at?
You
Last
were at
time I was at
32.
32 days.
And I think Neil was on point with that guess.
Yeah, I guessed a month, right?
Yeah. So you
so-
were wrong, because months are only 28, 30, and 31. But you were
Unless
close.
you're in the stock market, then they're all 30.
Yeah.
So, okay, you've given us one clue because you have stated that 50 was the accomplishment.
I can give you some more context with that too before you guess if you'd like. So I will say that 50 is a cutoff that they used for at least 2 achievements, if not more. I'm not sure if I checked to see if there are more achievements. But so because it's kind of like a common cutoff point, I was curious as to why 50 is important, or they use that as the metric. And I'm finding it's because you start to deplete kind of some of the resources in your environment at that point in time. Not necessarily wildlife, but like other things that
Boxes
you
with
can
rations.
other things,
or-
yeah, that you can scavenge and forage for. Like the area that I started in, Mystery Lake, I have essentially been to each portion of Mystery. Like, I've been to every corner of Mystery Lake for the most part.
Hold on. Mystery Lake. Is that the name that was given, like that it had before the character is stranded?
He's stranded and doesn't know where he's at. All lakes are mysteries.
Yeah, or is it something that like your character names? Like, this is gonna be Mystery Lake because I don't know where the fuck I am, and this is Mystery Forest right by Mystery Lake.
I don't know. Because there's a lighthouse area called Desolation Point, and there's Timberwolf Mountain. So I think this is actually the name of these places.
Timberwolf Mountain
think-
sounds
yeah.
cool. Desolation Point. It's like, we should really set up a camp
We
at
should not.
Desolation Point.
There's another place called Pleasant Valley that is like wrought with blizzards and snowstorms all the time. So it's not. It is a valley, but it's actually not pleasant, and that's the joke.
Okay, there we go. That's what I want to hear. Some misleading names, because no one is really like good about their naming structure. Because isn't Greenland named Greenland to make people a this is like during
Greenland
the
versus
age.
Iceland, where Iceland is much greener than Greenland.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't
I
come
don't know if
to
it's
Iceland.
I don't know if it's a misnomer necessarily. I think it is an ironic like label. But there's also like Coastal Highway. It is a highway on the coast. There you go. Like some of them are fairly explanatory. Others are I don't know.
Some are named by black people, some are named by white people.
Does Mystery Lake have a mystery is the question. No, it does not. There's nothing mysterious about Mystery Lake once you figure it out.
Are you sure? Have you gone into the lake itself yet?
You mean
I know it's
drowned?
All I'm saying
You're
is
asking if I've died, and I can't answer that yet.
Scott, maybe you need
the
to...
answer is yes.
Maybe
Yes.
you need to explore and try and find a heated thermal suit that will then allow you to dive at Great Lakes.
I made it out of woven cattails. The plant, not the animal. A little bit of both.
So
Scott's dead.
the way you've been talking, I feel like you have gone past not only 50 days, but 60 days, because you implied that certain things didn't come up at 60. And
I already knew that, though.
Uh-huh.
I'll add that context. I know when the achievement points are at.
I'm still going to assume that you may be covering your ass now, but these are significant clues. So I'm saying 65.
I'm
wow.
going 53, but you're
I
also
died?
dead.
Okay. You guys, I think, haven't you been... No, you've been pretty inconsistent on whether you guessed over or under, I think, for the guesses. I'm at 48 days. I'm just about at 50.
And dead?
And I'm not dead.
Fuck.
Holy shit, though. I was almost dead at one point in time. Like, I told you about that railway, like having to walk across a railway. I just like go to, you know how there's a dead zone on the controller? I find where the dead zone's at. And as soon as I'm just slightly past that, the most minuscule of movement, that's how I move across that railway. And then the wind blows and I just like start freaking out. Like, not now. Like, oh man, the tension is too much. Like I get the shakes bad.
So you've passed the railway. Have you had to go back over?
Yes.
it?
And that was even worse. That was so bad. Because it was like, I went out. The way that this is connected is Mystery Lake connects to, in one direction, a place called Frozen Muskeg, which is like a swamp. It's like a frozen swamp, and all the ice is super thin, so you can fall in. And then that immediately, I think, applies... It immediately takes your temperature down to 0 and you lose like condition, and then your clothes are wet and all this other. It's almost like in any other mode but the one that I was playing. I think it's nearly a death sentence if you can't find somewhere to build a fire immediately. And so I don't go that way. It's also just got bears and wolves roaming around. It's not a hospitable place at all. And I can't find any man-made structures either, which is also tricky because you need somewhere to survive. Or it's Forlorn Muskeg, not Frozen Muskeg, because it's not frozen enough, because I keep falling through the ice. Then in the opposite direction, there is the railway, and the railway takes me to... It takes me to a like ravine area that's like a short transitory map, and then to Coastal Highway. So I went to Coastal Highway, almost went to the end of it, found a place that I'd like to set up shelter, and then realized that I'm like severely lacking in some supplies. Like the bow that I have is at 19% durability, which means it's going to break in a couple more shots. So I'm like, well, shit. I'm going to trek all the way back, grab my other bow, and grab the materials to make another one just in case. And while I'm at it, I might as well grab my gun too, because there's wolves everywhere around here. They hang around this gas station that I've decided to set up in. But the gas station's great. Like leaving it is a little dangerous, but I'm willing to risk it because the rest of the benefits are nice.
So you left a positive Yelp review?
The wolves yelped. It's really, man,
How are you doing on ammo? I'm curious because you bring up rifles having guns and so forth, but
I figured out a way to game the system with the arrows. So arrows lose durability whenever they're fired. Like even if it hits snow, it's like a super small percentage of loss, like maybe 1 or 2% to the condition of the arrow. But after, actually, this may be a terrible thing. I might not be gaming it at all. Shit. I really never thought about it. But anyway, you fire it. If you like hit a rock or something, I think you lose more percentage. If you hit an animal, you lose quite a bit. And so in order to keep my arrows from breaking, what I'll do, since because I don't know what you can recover from a broken arrow, and maybe I should have checked that first. But what I've been doing is if it gets really low, like it's in a red percentage, which means it's about to break, I'll just harvest it and I'll get the arrowhead and crow feathers back. And then I've made a ton of arrow shafts. So I just build a new arrow with the arrow shaft, crow feathers, and the arrowhead that I recover from it.
Oh, so if a broken arrow still gives you the arrowhead and crow feathers,
then all
you're,
I need
you're
is the
actually
shaft.
you're losing
The shaft.
But not only that, but you're also losing the
Shaft.
last time you could shoot it, right?
Yes, yeah.
They just like saying shaft.
But if you break the arrow and you recover just like the crow feathers, it's a positive because I'm assuming the arrowheads are pretty valuable.
Yes, the arrowheads are really valuable because earlier in a previous version, you could make them from scrap metal and like a hammer, but now you need scrap metal, a hammer, and like a forge. And there's only one forge in the game, and it's not where I'm living, and it's not anywhere close. So like, I am limited to the number of arrows I can carry by the number of arrowheads I've found.
Can't you just use like 9 stones to create a forge?
Man, some of the crafting's great in the game, but I definitely agree with some of the community's complaints that like I really need to like melt and forge this metal into an arrow, and I can't just like sharpen rocks because
Isn't that technically how it was
that's
done?
how we did it. Yeah, is we sharpened rocks on other rocks. We didn't need any other tools. And these arrowheads, when you look at them, and it's a rock arrowhead more or less.
So it's like, why would you need a forge?
Why the fuck do I need a forge to build an arrowhead?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I hope they fix that. It seems really nonsensical.
I hope instead of just fixing it, they would add multiple arrowhead types, right?
Like a lacerating arrowhead.
Well, I mean, maybe
Poison
the
tipped
benefit,
arrowhead.
I mean, that's maybe going a little too far, but no, maybe
would that ruin your food?
Oh yeah,
depends on the type of poison and how fast it circulates, right?
Most poisons or venoms you can probably break down with heat because they're a protein. A venom is a protein, I should say. Poisons and toxins may be a little more complex to talk about, but anyway.
But like the separate arrowhead, let's say if you do a forged arrowhead, that deals more damage, and maybe like the stability of or the sturdiness
They
of
make
the
one with
arrow
a
is the
barb
shaft,
or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But like the benefit is that you have the stone arrowhead that you can make anywhere, which is more realistic to what the game's going for. I think.
It's not that good because it's stone. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just thinking of using a rounded end or something, and just like bonking a deer with an arrow.
You just have to do it like 100 times. The deer finally dies.
Yeah, it's the pugilistic arrow. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. They are about to go through an update called the Faithful Cartographer update.
The
maps,
Faithful
not moose, but
Cartographer.
maps, and maps should be really cool.
Ooh, and then all the maps are shaped like moose.
Are people using if there are not maps in this game yet? Are they using like mods to put in mini maps or anything?
I haven't looked into that. I don't know if there's mod support for this too much. Like there is mod support for different languages, but that's all I've seen.
Okay.
It's also in alpha, so like I don't know if it's a great idea to be developing like gameplay based mods this early on to a game.
You say that, but I feel like people mod gameplay elements like as soon as a game
exists.
comes out.
Yeah,
You know?
that's fair. Yeah, so we'll see if I keep surviving. I mean, it's going well, but I'm going to be facing much more dire straits coming up in the future.
So he's dead in the next episode of the Omake.
So
That's what you're betting?
Yep.
You want to bet against me, Neil?
no, I think you're gonna die at 65.
Okay. 65 years old? That's a little...
Oh, so I actually we entered this without me, or with the preconceived notion that I wouldn't have any game talk, but something just hit me a couple days ago.
Was it a blunt arrow? Because I'm sorry.
I've got those upstairs.
So I've been playing Spelunky a lot, and
Good game, good game.
Spelunky is awesome. I love that game so much. I bought it under like the idea that if I had a copy and Tiffany had a copy, we'd be able to play without the shared screen, like on local LAN. Well, correction, there's no online play at all when it comes to Spelunky, aside from like maybe online scoreboard comparisons with daily challenges, which I don't understand why that is the case, because of any game out there that is as beloved, to not have LAN or wide area network online play.
Or WAN.
WAN. Yeah, I was going to say that, and I was
LAN
just
or
like,
WAN?
no one says WAN.
I
Right?
say WAN.
Do you? Do you? I'm not going to joke about it. But yeah, what the fuck? How does Spelunky was released in what, like 2014?
Yeah. Yeah, it's at least a couple years old.
How is there not some sort of official support? I say official because there is Frozlunky or something like that you can use that more or less, in some way that I'm going to struggle to explain, allows you to have two computers running quote unquote the same instance of Spelunky. And it revolves around making sure both of your Spelunkies have the same world seed generated, as well as things like when you hit left, she's like her computer or the other person's computer also is taking that same input. So it's not even, what it's doing is basically trying to run the same program on over two computers perfectly. So you still share the screen and you still have all of those issues, excuse me, you would if you were just playing it on one game system. But we still, wanted to experiment with it. And there's one caveat to it, that the games can, if you're unlucky enough, lose sync from each other.
Oh, no.
So I don't know.
That sounds like an even funner game.
Does it crash?
No, it was amazing. It does not crash. It's still stable
Wow.
as fuck. But there was one point where my girlfriend picked up a dog. We always switch the rescue person to a dog. I don't know. I think it's way cooler having the dog that howls. And she takes the dog with her. And this whole time I'm like, you don't have the dog. She's like, I have the dog. We complete the level. On my screen, there's no dog. On hers, she gets the health from the dog. So in her version of the game, she has 5 hearts. In mine, she has 4. At some point, she dies. But on hers, she's alive. And that's where the game path switches. And within like 20 minutes, our games are completely different, with the caveat that not only are we trying to survive in our games, but get the other person killed in their game.
Oh my God. Yes.
So like she has the advantage since she's on a laptop. She sees her screen and my screen. But that also throws her off because she'll be trying to kill me on my screen, but accidentally get herself killed on her screen.
Yeah, see, this sounds wonderful.
That does sound really fun.
It's amazing. And it also led me to ask the question too. Spelunky has the capability of having a 4-player game. But 2-player is already way difficult in coordinating with each other and making sure you don't kill each other. Have you guys ever played Spelunky with 4 players?
No.
I think it would be the hardest thing ever. Like, not even because the game's hard, but just when you hit your whip, anything around you gets hit, including players. If you throw a vase just to break it, if it hits someone, it hurts them.
Well, we can play Spelunky 4 players if you want.
There is so much friendly fire. Yeah, we should at some point.
I think I actually have it on the PlayStation 4.
It sounds like Friendly Fire in Terraria, which I am a culprit of.
Yeah, I mean, you could start the game off thinking to yourself, we are going to cooperate and try and beat this game.
But then you're throwing bombs and people can't get out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. just at some point, you're going to get frustrated and be like, if I'm going to die, you're all coming with me.
It wasn't even that. It was more like I'm freaking out because we were fighting. It's like Eye of Cthulhu or whatever I think is the name of it, and the enemy like transforms at one point in time and starts like dive bombing you, and it's a really large enemy. So I started like spamming the shurikens that I had, and I ran out, so you automatically equip the next thing. I started spamming bombs. I'm like, get out of the tower. It was too late.
Everyone died.
I didn't die. I knew to get out of the tower. I saw that I was throwing bombs and got the fuck out. Yeah.
So, did you play Starbound, by the way?
No, I didn't.
I'm
not sure if I'm allowed to play those games anymore.
Scott just goes and kills everyone.
I appreciate Terraria,
Never
but
on
I
purpose.
really like the aesthetics of Starbound more, and I think they're made by the same team.
They
So,
look very similar. I mean,
Oh.
they look a lot alike.
totally the same game. Well, in certain respects, but like the sprite size is larger, and because of that, it can be a little prettier.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about now, Cookie?
Omake! Anime. All about anime. So I've been watching all the anime.
Yeah, a shit ton from what I hear.
Actually, not that much. I just finished, I think, did I say I finished Mayu last time?
No, you didn't.
Oh, well, I
think
finished
so.
Mayo.
Nice.
I finished Mayo. It was good. I enjoyed it. Politics and shit like that.
Where do you find it at?
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Okay. I'll have to watch it
And
there.
I also found the perfect anime for Scott. It's called Love Tyrant. Neo can't get past the second episode, which means Scott's gonna get even less far.
Even further. Even further.
It's wonderful. It's got boys love, girls love, brother sister love, sister love,
Teacher student love.
teacher student love.
That's a lot of love to go around.
Oh, it's so much
Yeah,
love.
yeah. Tell me. So when I watched, I think it was the second episode that has the teacher student relationship. Am I right, or is that
No.
episode 3?
I think it's episode 3. It
So
doesn't matter.
It's
where
actually
at.
the end of the season, and you just like binge
I
through all of it.
watched
he just
all of
blinked out.
Yeah.
I assumed that this story or this anime, every episode was going to be like a different type of forbidden or like taboo love. Am I correct?
No, now we're getting into backstory of the family of murderers.
What? There are murderers?
What's her name? Pulls out knives in the first episode.
Oh, wait, Yandere?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So if Neil didn't explain the anime when he first mentioned it to
I
me,
don't think so.
it's basically this lady has a death note, but it's a kiss note. And
Oh, okay.
when
Yeah,
she
now I
writes
do
names in
remember.
it, and through happenstance,
She
multiple
becomes
people-
Cupid, more or less.
multiple people become entangled in this love triangle that the Cupid lady is just adding names to willy-nilly.
Oh man.
But there's this backstory of, so the chick that the guy likes is a part of a family, and her sister is in love with the chick, and they've got a cousin who loves everyone but loves no one at the same time.
She's the ultimate tsundere.
She's just a masochist.
If
Or
she loves
sadist?
everyone but doesn't want people to know that.
No,
they-
she wants everyone to know she loves them, but she doesn't really love them.
Oh.
She's a sadist or a masochist, whichever the one. She likes hurting people.
sadist.
Sadist,
There's
yeah.
a real like scene where she stabs the main character in the
Luckily,
hand.
since he's an angel, he can't die, though.
He can't die.
Oh.
Main character can't die.
So he gets
like
stabbed a shit ton from what I saw.
from his girlfriend, his love interest, she just like constantly goes on, "Are you cheating on me? You must be cheating on me."
Stab, stab,
That
stab,
bitch is a
stab,
home
stab.
wrecker. She pulls out kunai. Just
Mm.
kunai are they're the curved blades, but
Wait,
they're not.
Scythes?
But they're not like
Sickle?
all the way curved like a sickle. They're just kind of curved.
Ooh.
Part sickle.
Either
I-
way,
I don't know.
it's kind of like it's not the snake shaped one, but just imagine one curve of a snake.
Oh, it like goes straight up and then it just curves in like a 30-degree angle after that, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what they are.
what they're called. But she
I
pulls
think
those out all the
in
time.
Dark Souls, they're called kunai.
But the kunai I thought were straight blades.
Yeah, kunai are straight.
Yeah. But those are called throwing daggers in Dark Souls. So
But so either
Localization
way,
team done fucked up.
they
but either
did.
way, so it turns out we're learning a little more about her family because her sister's not actually her sister in like the sense of sister. So basically, her family is the main family, and they're the sword. Then her sister's family. So when you first meet her sister, she's like, "Oh, you're trying to steal my boyfriend." So she like throws a knife at her, and main character's like, "No, you're gonna kill her." And then she's a shield. So she's got this bubble shield that she can like get into all kinds of thing with.
I know who
so
you're
she's
talking
the
about.
shield. I forget what their cousin is, but their cousin's just mean. And there's a lot going on and things like that. It gets real deep. Either way. Brother, sister love. Sister, sister love.
Sounds like my kind of show.
Is there a particular pair getting shipped? Because it seems like the main character has more interest for the Cupid than
You meet the
yandere.
Cupid's father.
Yeah, so she is the canon waifu, it sounds like then.
No.
No?
No, we're
If
doing the main
if you're
character.
meeting like your girlfriend's parents,
Well, because he
that
died.
seems like a who died?
The main character.
He's an angel.
How is he dead? He's an angel.
Because God said, I want to meet the guy that's supposed to teach my daughter about love.
Oh, so you have to kill him so he can meet him.
Except for him dying was just God saying, come on, join me in heaven
down.
for a little bit. Because it turns out the Cupid character is the next God.
Oh.
So she's going to be God.
Everything you're telling me though still seems to lead me to the end result that it's going to be the main character in the Cupid.
It's going to be the main character and the little sister.
This is not Oremo, okay?
Oh my God. It's going to be the main, not his little sister, because she also wants to be in that love triangle. Kind of. Not really, but kind of.
What the fuck?
Yeah, my eyes are glazing over.
It's totally a Scott
What
anime.
else have you been watching?
Please, anything else?
I've also been caught up on something called The Royal Tutor. It is about a tutor who never went to college, who has a mysterious background, who is training 4 brothers to become the next king of their country.
Only one of them gets to be king, though.
Only
right?
one of them
The
gets to
other
be
3
king.
get to die, I'm assuming.
No.
Oh.
They just live their own lives, but they're all still competing to be king. And, you know, there's the playboy brother,
There's the brash brother.
Yeah.
There's the smart brother.
Mm-hmm. He's real smart.
There's the young kawaii desu brother as well, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Yeah, obviously. And it's not like I'm looking at images, but is the tutor like a younger looking figure with glasses and red hair?
Correct.
Okay.
He is mistaken for a child all the time.
Is it a guy or a girl?
It is a guy.
Okay.
I thought it was a girl when I saw pictures and I was like, okay, this is going to be a reverse harem. Let's do this.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too. I mean, not the reverse harem part necessarily, but I thought it was a girl.
But yeah, so it turns out it's a bunch of politics still. So they're just learning about their country and like what they would do to make the country better. So it's getting right back into politics.
Is it like actually intelligent? Like in the
Kind
same way
of.
that Log Horizon and Maoyu are?
It's not quite that deep, but like, so one of the things that they were talking about was like, the king asked all the boys, they're like, so say somebody there's a really rundown shop and they need to go ahead and knock down the shop and rebuild the shop. What do you do? One of the brothers was like, oh yeah, you just give them the money. But as king, you can't just give people money. So what other options do you guys have? Then the one character was like, I think you should do something like where they pay like a monthly stipend. So just in case something happens like this, they can then afford to knock down the shop. And which Colin? He's like, insurance. That's going really well in Western countries. We're thinking about adopting something here. Write me a draft or a proposal on this stuff. Then like one of the characters, the playboy, who everyone thinks is super whimsical, he ends up having like a part-time job somewhere that he took as a joke at first, but he takes it really seriously. No one knows what the king looks like, by the way, because the king also got hired for a night to work there. And everyone was just super impressed.
You're so good at this job. Why don't you just fill in for me real quick?
Pretty much. He's
New
just like,
king.
he's just like, hey, I want to understand what's happening with my son, because obviously if someone finds out that the prince is working at this squabble that's going to cause strife in like the line of succession, there's also this dark horse character that's around trying to convince the kids, like trying to put the kids in like situations that would make them not be accessible for the throne. He's like an uncle. So like the smart one gets approached by his favorite professor, and his professor's like, hey, I really like that paper that you did. You should come to my country where I live and study under my tutelage. He's like, you are fourth in line. It's practically impossible. Fourth or fifth in line. It's practically impossible that you'll be king. And you know this, right? And he's like, I do know this. But the reason I'm so smart and like doing all this stuff is because of how I looked up to the king when I was little. So this is why I'm doing it. So I'm going to still fight for the thing. It's interesting. It's good. We haven't met the first brother.
Yeah, I'm actually very... you've sold me. I think I may actually go home and watch this as I'm editing. So
I still need to watch Mayo, so I'll do that first.
Yeah, it's not nearly as deep as Mayo. Did you watch Log Horizon?
I think I saw a little bit of it, and it didn't catch me from where I was at, so I passed.
Okay, because Mayo is Log Horizon minus the fantasy world, kind of. The fantasy world exists, but they lightly tap on the hero is just the most badass person in the world, but we're really just talking politics and shit.
I think I'll stick with Mayo first then. We'll see. And
it's also not being stuck in a video game, so there's no pretense that you have to go through with that either. Because I'm reading Log Horizon, the light novel, and I totally feel like there is a portion of the book, or of the online text in my case, that is just like, oh, we have to explain the situation to you, and you're going to have to get through this before you get to the good stuff.
Yeah, they definitely, in Log Horizon, they stick with the calamity a lot longer than they need to. But that's actually what kept Lizzie watching it. And as soon as they got into politics, she was just dead on the inside. As soon as it got to politics, I was like, oh, I was stuck in an anime. I was stuck in a video game. I was interested in this. Now there's politics involved? Fuck yeah! Let's figure this shit out.
Is that about the gist of what you've been watching?
Yeah, actually.
So I do want to say that if you guys haven't watched the first couple episodes of Sagrada Reset, or Sakurada Reseto, you should definitely give it a shot. When I brought it up last time, you were like, oh, what's up with you and JoJo? And I didn't realize it at that point in time, but you were so right, because this anime is actually made by David Production, the people that are responsible for the not reboot, but the recent 3 series of JoJo. Since part 1 and part 2 are part of the same season, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember.
No. The first season is Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency.
Okay, yeah.
Together.
So David Productions is doing the animation for Sagrada Reset, which is surprising because the style is completely different.
Yeah.
This is very like melancholy-esque at times in terms of like animation production. And you can really tell they are not, yes, that's it. They are not taking the same level of quality, but it was kind of cool to see like, oh, this is something else David Productions doing. But the animation, the visuals, that's really not why I'm watching this show. I'm watching because it is a mystery. To really paraphrase, the first episode is entitled, sorry, I'm pulling it up right now.
Something about a cat.
I think that was episode 4, I thought. Let me double check. Or episode 3 even. Oh, no, I think... Wait, that's the light novel. Okay. Episode list. Episode 1 and 2, Memory and Children, 1 out of 3. And episode 2 is Memory and Children, 2 out of 3. Then episode 3 is Cat, Ghost, and Revolution Sunday, 1 out of 2. Where's part 3?
3 out of 3, yeah.
And
it'll come later, I assume.
well, a character dies. Spoilers, but I mean, it's part of what makes up.
Can't watch it, man.
JoJo and spoilers.
A character dies in episode 2 and makes common occurrences throughout the rest of the series so far because she plays an important, like, emotional role to the main character. As to the mystery of how she dies, you don't get that. And I'm assuming they're
3 of 3 will,
obviously
yeah.
So
resolve
that's
that.
going to probably be
Okay.
like the last episode or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming 3 of 3 is going to end up explaining a lot of the questions I've had throughout the rest of the series. I kind of wish that I don't know. There's something about the anime that like is keeping it at like a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for me. But much like
Too many questions, not enough answers.
but I have hopes that like there has to be an answer at the end of the day here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and what is the relevance of these certain mysteries that we're coming across? Like each arc is interesting, and there are, I hate to say it, but like convoluted solutions to problems that remind you of JoJo in not as cool a way.
Not as cool. Okay, that's fine. But I anything getting reference to JoJo, I feel obligated to check it out at least a little bit.
Oh, I guess I've also been watching Boruto, but that's nothing.
Why?
Why?
I'm all in, man. I'm all in. I think the last episode, not Shikamaru, the dude who messes with bugs and insects, he goes off to kill Boruto and Shikamaru's son and one other character.
What? And Shikamaru is the shadow guy, right?
Yeah. So Shikamaru's son is
the
Boruto's best friend.
Only cool character in my opinion.
In the original, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Shadows are fucking awesome.
Well, not
and
to mention
he always had to be super, super tactical, and so he was all JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on his opponents.
Yeah, he was tactical, and he was like the only person with common sense.
Yeah.
What a drag. That was his thing that he said.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mendoza.
That's about my
That's all I got.
yeah.
Omake!
I'm looking up Shikimaru's son.
Tiki
Shikidia?
Maru.
No, it's like Shikita or Shikidia.
Oh, Tiki Maru would have been fun.
So they're best
He
friends.
was a totem
Yeah.
pole.
Kind of. In a sense that how Naruto was friends with everyone else, Boruto is the same way. Whereas Boruto just begrudgingly hangs out with people. So Shikamaru's...
Meanwhile, everyone begrudgingly hangs out with Naruto during
pretty much during the
his
first season.
Yeah.
So it's like Shikamaru's son is like... Shikamaru's quite literally says at the first episode, please take care of Boruto. I know he's annoying. I know it's a drag. Deal with it.
Yeah, he looks just as annoyed as his father does.
Oh,
Or
it's
did.
so great because they're talking to the mom, Tamaya, the chick who uses the giant fan. Those two get together. So they're talking to her, and she says something, and she turns around and looks at Shikamaru, and she goes, "You were just thinking what a drag, weren't you?" And it quite literally was just that. And he was like, "No, honey, I was not." And then they both get yelled at, and Shikamaru's son's like, "Why am I getting yelled at too?" And then they both go, "What a drag." And you're just like, yes! I love it. So I'm all in Boruto still. Just watch even more of that.
Is the fangirl Tamari?
Yes.
Okay. I vaguely remember some of these characters.
Dear Lord, I just went to look at like information about this Shikamaru character. I ended up on there's a Narutopedia apparently.
I can see that.
It must be enormous because his page alone is like I'm still scrolling. I'm not done scrolling. What the hell?
It goes through so much,
There's like
man.
1,000 wait, how many episodes?
500.
500?
That's it.
There's a lot of
That's a
fucking
lot.
content.
How many episodes of Bleach were there? I'm kind of curious.
None in my book.
Fair
I
enough.
don't know what you're talking about. The cleaning product? Yes.
Nope. 300 and 66.
Like I can't judge creators for continuing their series out of like I'm assuming a combination of passion and the desire to continue to put food on your table. But holy fuck, man. Why Naruto? Why?
Weird part is, I never skipped a season of Naruto. Totally skipped like 3 seasons of Bleach. There were filler seasons of Bleach.
How many seasons of Bleach were there?
26.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So basically, I think the reason I skipped seasons of Bleach was because they were having this big fight, and it was towards the finale of the season. And then they kind of just juxtaposed the season between that. So yeah.
Can we just do a whole season based on the orange-haired girl that everyone seems to love?
Orihime? There was.
She has princess in her fucking name. Like, how can you? I'm sorry. I can't do it.
What can't you do? Bleach?
Her name has Hime in it. Like, that's like naming someone
Ichigo?
There's a guy that I went to
Number
school
one
with the
guardian?
name of King, so Large King.
That's fine because that was really his first name, Large. Hey, Large, get over here. Mr. King, Large King.
Yeah,
Was he the successor to the Burger King franchise?
I don't know. I just knew that he had that name, and I was surprised.
So
There's-
his father's Sneak King.
That was actually a good game. I was actually the king for Halloween one year and actually played 2 hours of Sneak King just so I'd know exactly what to do.
Yeah, you gotta fucking.
I was
method act
popping
it.
out of everywhere with just like this burger, and like by 4 o'clock in the morning, this drunk chick was like, "Thanks," and took a bite, and I was like, "Oh, that's gross. You don't know where I've been. The things I've seen tonight."
Did you have it like on a plate?
Yes, I literally had it on a plate, and I quite literally popped out of a fucking bush, and she was like,
Oh, thank you.
"I wanted one of these."
Are you God? Kami-sama?
There's Star Wars Carcassonne. It's $25 on Amazon.
Wait, what is it?
Carcassonne, but Star Wars
What's Carcassonne?
Carcassonne.
is kind of like Settlers of Catan, but not. It's a little simpler. It's fun, actually. You build roads and keeps and kingdoms and parishes.
And spend 20 turns waiting for somebody to get brick. Please, anybody, get brick. We need to move the game forward. Who put the thief on the only brick source? What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry, that's just my Settlers of Catan experience.
It's right behind you if you want to play.
I'd love to play, actually. I love that game.
We need to get together for like another fancy get together before you go for sure.
Okay.
Well, he said he's cooking for us this week.
Yeah, we can do something. We can talk about this after the podcast. But
Okay.
yeah, we can totally do something.
Oh shit, we're still recording.
We're not going to include our listeners.
This is
in
the
our
Omake
fans.
episode.
So yeah,
That's your
sense.
cue, Chris. Cookie.
Omake.
There we go.
We should probably wrap it here, though.
Yep. Yeah,
Maybe
it's been
we-
fun, guys. See you, I guess not see you next week because you're going to be in Chicago, Cookie.
Don't tell people that. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Chicago.
And where's your hotel? What's the address of your hotel and room number?
Yeah.
We're actually not gonna be at a hotel.
Oh, perfect. Give us
Oh,
the
so yeah,
address
you
of
know
where
the
you're
address right
staying.
now, then.
Yeah.
I don't, honestly.
Good cover.
Doesn't
I kind of
do you
just,
any
I
good.
kind of just show up to places to tell me where to go, and I'm like, okay, cool,
GPS it.
pretty much.
As always, if you want anything read over the podcast, and if for that matter you want something that goes into the Omake instead, you can always specify that too. But our
Yeah,
email
totally.
address is podcast@fancyramen.com.
fancyramen.com.
Holy cow, I brain farted there for a second. It's been a pleasure. Next week we'll be doing something Scott and I,
Creative.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll find something. We'll
I've got
figure
faith.
it out.
Worst case scenario, I'll have an iPad on me so I can also remote in.
Oh yeah, that'd be
worst
great.
case scenario is nothing happens. we have radio silence for a little while.
Radio.
But I'd be doubtful.
I guess
of that.
I say worst case scenario, I've got a iPad so I can remote in, but as of right now, where I'm going has no internet at the moment. So
Oh,
we'll see.
so we
What the
do
fuck is
have
wrong with
one
those
hint of
people?
where you're going. Yeah.
Exactly.
The Hinterlands. Wait, what is that from? Is that Elder Scrolls?
Hinterlands is actually the studio that's doing The Long Dark. Hinterland Studio.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh, it's from
Did you just will
Dragon
me to
Age.
crash
No.
and have to
No.
survive? Good thing it's summer, I
Neil
guess.
did. Neil did. And you can survive on cattails.
I can?
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
in a cattail?
Well, the top part is like, the top part you don't want to eat, but the bottom part, the stalk, you could technically eat and get some.
What's in the top
get some
part?
nutrients. That's you know what a cattail looks like, right? It's like
a
a
corn
long
dog.
plant with, yeah, it's a corn dog. So you put mustard on the top part. You ruin someone's day. But yeah, you can eat the stalk and get a little bit of nutrients and calories out of that. Not much. It's a strat. It's a strat in the long dark. Go to bed for 1 hour, eat a cattail, sleep some more, eat a cattail, keep recovering.
Was The Long Dark the first game that the Hinterlands made?
I think so. I think this is
Do you
the
think
first time.
they felt strongly about the Hinterlands in Dragon Age?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about Dragon Age.
Didn't you play Dragon Age?
No, I've always really wanted to, but I haven't.
Fancy Roman plays.
Yeah.
Scott plays Dragon Age.
No, just like for the same reason I don't want to do Final Fantasy VII.
Not the remake?
I do not.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually open to that because I expect the remake, it's only going to be the first part of the game first and foremost.
Yeah.
Oh, because they're doing it episodically. You're right.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And that would be more doable. Like 20 hours is better than 80 hours.
In almost any case of
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, I agree.
Unless you're talking about Persona 5, in which more time spent is always better. Guys, it's been great recording with you today.
Omake!
Omake!
Omake! See you later.
Cookie.